Good evening, gentlemen. Tonight's speaker is a Vietnam veteran of the Marine Corps. He has served Washington's 1st District for over 13 years, and he is the Honorable Al O'Brien.
While we're waiting, I'll tell you how I got started in this thing. I had no idea, really, of getting into politics. I came to Boys State here about 1986, I think, or 87, sometime in there. And I was here as a Marine Corps recruiter. And I fell in love with this program and forgot about being a Marine Corps recruiter and got on staff here to deal with this program because I really loved it. And like other staff members here have probably told you, they've fallen in love with the program, and that's what brought me back. So anyway, I was on this planning commission, and one day the adult entertainment showed up. But we'll get back to that if you want to. Okay, how a bill becomes a law in the real world. Like the law, it starts with an idea. And the idea can come from anywhere. It can come from the legislator himself or herself, or it can come from a lobbyist. A lot of times we just bring stuff. That's why they're there. They're representing a client or clients. And they bring the ideas. As the cartoon mentioned, most bills die in committee. They fail to get passed out. Of those, we're really busy. Start a session, especially the long session, the 105-day session. We're really busy. We get in a long session somewhere between 3,500 and 4,000 bills. Personal relationships are very important. It's nice to get together with senators once in a while, shoot the breeze with them, have dinner with them, go out and have a beer with them, get used to talking to them and working with them. This is where party, political party issues, pressures will come in by helping Republicans who are in the minority to get their bills passed. If it's a good idea, and it's good for the state and it's good for the citizens, it shouldn't matter whose initial, whether an R or D is behind that person's name. The legislation should be passed.
I'm David Graff from the city of Juniper, and I was wondering how important you think it is to look at bills from a nonpartisan viewpoint, and how hard is it for you?
I like bills from a nonpartisan viewpoint because they look at the big picture. And they give you the full story. If it's slanted, if it's got a political spin, some of that stuff might be revealed to you, it might not. Because the political spin is to score points, political points. And you want to make things look good. And there's no flaws with this legislation. There's no problems with it. If you get a nonpartisan opinion on it, I think you get a better opinion.
Hi, my name is Danny Baker. I'm from the city of Elm.
Yeah! Okay!
What hardest bill you've had to pass?
The hardest bill I had to pass?
Yes.
Being the chair of the Criminal Justice and Corrections Committee, I did a lot of stuff in dealing with sex offenses. And some of those bills were very tough.
Look, my name is Joel Freeborn, and I was wondering about that story you told at the beginning about the adult entertainment.
Oh, okay. The adult entertainment story. So I'm on the planning commission. Remember this part, I volunteered for the planning commission. I decided I was going to get involved. Because of my activity here at Boys State, by and large, and some other things. But anyway, so I volunteered at the planning commission. 18 months later, the adult entertainment industry shows up and they says, we're going to open up the tallest dancing bunch of bars where the cities of Mount Lake Terrace, Edmonds, and Linwood come together on Highway 99. And the reason we're going to do this is because they're building a naval base airport
And the sailors and Marines need something to do when they go on liberty, okay? Well, understand. So I says, you know, people got upset and started yelling at the witness from the adult entertainment industry. And I'm sitting there on the planning commission. I said, well, you know, we really can't stop you from doing this because the U.S. Supreme Court has interpreted topless dancing as a form of speech. Okay? It's a form of speech. So we cannot deny you the right to open up a topless place. But I says, let's do this. Let's set up buffers between the topless places and sensitive areas like schools and daycare centers and walking trails. Okay? And they said, let's do that. And so they agreed. And they said, we'll take time out for 3 months. But see, their plan was, they got a lot of money. And they know that Mount Lake Terrace had none. And we'd have to mortgage our city hall if they decided to sue us for denying them the right to open up their bars. And we couldn't prevail because we wouldn't have the money to finance the lawsuit. So that was their plan. So what I did, we had a bunch of public hearings and took citizens poured in and they started talking about, we don't want topless dancing here in this city. And I happened to be home one night and I got a Knights of Columbus magazine that had come in the mail and it talked about the Renton topless dancing decision by the U.S. Supreme Court. Anybody familiar with that? Renton had set up buffers of 350 feet around every dancing place in Renton, or around every sensitive area in Renton, like a daycare center or school. And you couldn't have a topless bar within that 350-foot radius. And that had been appealed by the topless industry and had gone all the way through the appeal process to the U.S. Supreme Court. And they upheld it as being constitutional. So I said, we don't have to worry. Let's just change the name from Renton to Mount Lake Terrace. And that's what we did. And so I went home. Everybody seemed happy, you know. I went home feeling pretty good. And I get a call on the phone. This was a Thursday night. I get a call on the phone from Maria Campbell. She was living in Mount Lake Terrace at the time. She says, I noticed what you did on the Planning Commission. How about running for the City Council? I said, well, I didn't know there was an opening, but since you suggested it, I guess I'll do it. So I ran for the City Council, and I won. And because I got out and beat on doors, and everybody knew me because